What you're looking at here is a candlestick chart built from Binance market data. On top of price, we have the simple moving average, one of the most widely used indicators in technical analysis. But instead of just applying it blindly, in this video, we're going to break down how it's calculated and how to implement it properly in Python. And how can we calculate this moving average? Its current value is the sum of the last number of period candles. For example, if the chosen period is 5, we have to sum the last 5 candles' values. In this case, we sum the closes. And then divide the value by the period, which is 5. Let's start by importing the necessary modules. At first, we import the default modules from Python, and then we can import the function that requests the candles. If you don't know how to do it, I strongly recommend you to watch the video on the channel that teaches how to create a function that imports candles and returns a data frame of them. In this case, we will name it as import candles. Then we can create a new function. This function is to calculate our SMA. It will have candles, data frame, and period as its parameters. We can insert a docstring, so this function is easier to understand, its behavior and what it returns, which is a list of float values. By starting to develop the function, we begin by creating the return list. It is empty, and when the function is running, it will be filled on each iteration. The parameter prices can be a list or a pandas series, so we must find out its type. Now we must loop through the data. Each iteration is one candle. It starts on the eldest candle and ends on the most recent one. Here we have two situations. If the current candle number is lower than the respective period, the indicator cannot be calculated, so that current value will be none. This happens because there isn't enough data to proceed the calculations. On the other side, when the candle number is greater than the period, the indicator can be calculated. The SMA value will be filled with an empty float value. On the other side, when there's enough data, the calculations can be done. Total value will be calculated every time, and it represents the sum part for each candle. Now, we must obtain the last n, or period candles. To do it, we must make a new iteration, but now backwards. This iteration starts on period back candles comparing to current one, and goes until this most recent candle is reached. We have to define value. This variable is the price of the current candle, and here, the result becomes from an if statement, according to its type. That can be a list of floats or a pandas series. With that, total is now updated by summing current value. When all sums are made, it is time to calculate the average. It can be done by dividing total of the period. This result must be added into the function's returning list. After all iterations, SMA is fully calculated and can be returned. Time to try out an example. The example will be with simple Ethereum, USD Tether, in 5 minutes, and we are going to import 300 candles. The source price is close, but it could be open, high, or low. The period that will be tested is 9. The first thing to do after defining everything is to import the candles. If you don't know how to import candles, I strongly suggest you to watch the video that explains everything about it. So, we put our symbol, time frame, and total candles to import as parameters. Just a little print to check that importing candles is working properly. Okay, it's working. Now, we can use our data frame to extract the prices, then calculate the SMA. You must make sure that you import the price column correctly. The column must have the exact name, and you must convert the column into a list. After that, we can create a new column into the data frame and name it SMA. This new column is the indicator we have created. If you notice, the first period -1 or SMA. This is from the part where there's not enough data. Now we can calculate a new function, but now to plot the result into a chart. Its parameters will be the candles, data frame, symbol, and interval. To make a safer operation, let's copy the data frame into a new variable. We have to define the open time as the index column of the data frame, but you could also use the close time column. The columns that matter are the open, high, low, close, volume, and and then update the new candles data frame to delete the unnecessary columns to plot. To draw it in the same chart, panel has to be defined as, and to make the line more visible, the line width is 1.5. We also have to define to the plotter the indicator to draw. Now we can create an add plot, so we can draw the indicator into the chart. At last, we define the plot to draw the candles and pass all its parameters. Let's execute this new function with the parameters we have defined before. Here we have our chart. So, now you understand how the simple moving average is calculated, how to implement it in Python, and how to integrate it into a candles data frame. Indicators become powerful when they work together inside a rule-based system.